Hello everybody, it's me, Mrs. K, on KawaKouple live stream. As you can tell, I am by myself today. Well, I'm by myself because Mr. K is going to probably be watching under some in Tesla, and I think he's already made some comments. For today, I'm going to talk about the Ninja 300 and what I like about it and my opinions and thoughts about it after owning it for 2 years. I have not done a live stream by myself before, so please bear with me about this. And, you know, we'll get things going. As you can see, this is a picture of me on my bike when I first got her. My pretty little bluebird. I was so happy and excited because it's a nice blue bike and I was able to stand on her without having to tippy-toe, which was such a nice aspect to have considering it was my first bike and so far still my only bike. And I didn't know much about it when I started. These are some of the specs on the bike. It is a Kawasaki Ninja 300 SE ABS 2015. Some of the stuff I understand on these specs. Other stuff here, it's kind of, I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to understand it. I'm still trying to get it. I mean, I understand the slipper clutch. I understand ABS, which I absolutely love. I've used it a few times. The liquid cooled 4-stroke, the parallel twin. I mean, I understand those things, but some of the things like, what is it? Not the top speed, not the power, like the torque stuff. I kind of understand what it's trying to do, but I don't really understand all of the stuff. Compression ratio, yeah, thank you, Mr. K. I mean, as you guys can see, there's some in Tesla in the chat. We don't have the chat up here right now because right now we're just doing the informational stuff. So Mr. K is being very wonderful and he's being supportive and writing things in the chat. Here's what she looks like now. This is after all the mods that I've done to her and the wrap, and honestly, for me, the 300 was actually a very good starting bike. Am I going to stay with 300 forever? I'm not sure. Will I change up? Well, there's a few bikes that I'd like to try. I don't know necessarily if I want to trade up the bike. Or if I want to keep her. I mean, obviously, if I get a secondary bike, it doesn't really make too much sense to keep the 300 as well. But so far, like the gear ratios and stuff like that, I've really actually gotten pretty good with my first gear. I mean, I know a lot of people have said the first gear is really short. Even myself at the beginning, Mr. K has said it. Now I get to the point where I'm able to use my first gear a little bit better than I was using it in the beginning. So, yes. These are some of the changes that I have made to the bike, and if anybody has any questions, please don't be afraid to ask in the chat. I know it's not on the screen, but I can see it. So, we changed it to the seat cowl instead of having the seat in the back. Mostly because the whole thing about having pillions and stuff like that was one of those things, especially being under the L or the N. I'm not 100% sure about the N, but I know for sure under the L I wasn't allowed to carry any passengers. So in order to combat that and have nobody asking me, hey, I want to ride, because like, so many people are like, hey, I want to ride. I switched over to the seat cowl, as you can see in the images above. Sorry, I'm getting used to this format. We painted her blue. How did you get the design on the seat cowl? Okay, so I used to have a sticker of a rose on it beforehand. And when we painted it, we left the sticker on and then peeled the sticker off afterwards to get the design in there. Please bear with me if my eyes are darting up too much because I'm looking at the screen so that I can explain what I'm looking at. Well, what you guys are looking at. Yes. So the design came through like that. It actually is really pretty. I really do like it. The windscreen is the original Kawasaki windscreen. It's just been painted with the same style of paint that was used on the seat cowl. But instead we made the two purple lines come down like that because I like purple. And purple and blue always go well together. So, excuse me. Okay, I also, of course, have stolen Mr. K's slip-on exhaust from his 300. So now I have the Yoshimura slip-on exhaust. And it really does sound much nicer than the regular exhaust. I didn't realize how much more better it sounded until after I actually had it on my bike. I could hear it on his bike, but it's not the same listening to it on somebody else's bike as it is listening to it on your own bike, because the difference of how far away they are, how close they are, it changes the sound about it. So it's actually much nicer listening to it on my own bike. I mean, it's like she purrs now. I really do like the slip-on. I mean, I know that I'm thinking about test driving a Zero, so it's going to be really weird how I'm going to feel about having no exhaust sound. Also a change to the Pazzo levers. It's the blue with the little black knob. For my brake, I left it as the short lever, but for my clutch, I left it as the long lever. It was actually recommended to me by the dealership where I got them installed, which was Imperial Motorcycles, I believe is what it's called. But I really do love them. I love the adjustability of them and just the feel of them. They feel so much nicer. Just the way that you pull on them, it's not the same as having the OEM versions on. Summon Tesla, I want to know how you got the two-tone design on the windscreen. So, on the windscreen, taped it off and sprayed in the purple, thanks to Mr. K. And then, wait, how was it? So taped it off, put in the purple, and then pulled off, and then painted everything else blue. So when I'm looking at it, you don't really see the two-tone as much as you would see the two-tone from the outside, like how it is shown in that image over. How it's shown in that image over there, down in the corner. So, yeah, that's how I got the two-tone on the windscreen. I think it looks really nice, and I like how it kind of points into the Kawasaki symbol. Okay, and of course, as you can see, again, this is the version of it, how it looks now. You can see that it has the blue screws in there as well. At least I can see it. I don't know how clearly the picture is coming through to you guys. It's also been wrapped. The wrap was actually done pretty much everywhere where the black plastic originally was, before the imaging of where the graphics used to be for the blue and everything like that. So it was wrapped on the fairings. It was wrapped just underneath the seat and a little bit of the back of the tail, but not where the blue graphics still are. That's actually the only place I have the original blue graphics of the bike, is on the tail section next to the seat cowl. And of course, I didn't touch the original blue on the front tire. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I messed that up. How do you mess that? I don't know how I messed that up. I really, it's this whole first time being by myself, and of course this has decided that it wants to be like that, and for some reason the button, because I pressed the wrong button, and I just fixed it. There we go. And nobody is chatting right now. So let me go back to more of the pictures. See pictures. I am hoping to do more of these live streams by myself, and if anybody really does like it and wants more of a female perspective on the bikes, I'm more than willing to do the topics depending on what it is, but I just need people to actually ask for it. Oh yes, and I also changed, as you can see in the picture there with the Pazzo levers, you can also see that the grip was that the grip was done. I'm sorry, there's a silly comment in the chat right now. And you can see that the grips were done too. So they have a little bit of a blue accent inside of them. What I really do like about the bike is I do really like the fact that she is very good and responsive for what I do most of the time, which is the city riding. I don't really do highway riding. Maybe in the future I will, but right now I don't really do highway riding, so I do a lot of city exploring on the bike. So she's actually really good for that. Hi NASCAR Papa. Yes, it's different. I thank you for popping in and saying hi. Any questions about my 300 that you'd like answered, NASCAR? I'm willing to answer them, and what was I saying? Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I lost track of my train of thought here. It's more along the lines like, yes, if any of you guys want any topics that you'd like the female perspective on, and if I can do them, I will. And I do like doing this style by myself. It's really weird though, because I don't have Mr. K filling in all the gaps for me, so please bear with me. Yeah, you can see I was like really happy that day when I was really happy that day when we got the bikes. This is the day that we picked up the bikes, so it was actually really cool. They had to drive them home for us because neither one of us had our license yet, so it was fun. Everything was stock there, including the stickers. I had to do the wrap, not necessarily because I didn't like the blue stickers, but it had more along the lines to do with the fact that, silly learner I am, I leaned her over actually on both sides. So, and beside me is that the black one with the gray tank is Mr. K's first 300. NASCAR Papa Smurf said, the 300 is a really good bike, but I found out it's not good on the highway. Which is, yeah, this is one of the reasons that I've heard a lot of things about it not being so good on the highway, which is one of the reasons I haven't really tested her out too much on the highway. I know Mr. K has done it, and I know some other people that own 300s that do, or have done it. But for me, I don't know. I don't really like going up to those speeds necessarily. I mean, we have spots in the city where we can get up to that's highway speeds, but not highway, so it's not the same amount of pressure. It's really nice to do it. NASCAR Papa says, at times I miss mine, but I love my 650 better. And I know that Mr. K absolutely loves the 652, especially for some of the stuff that he does. I mean, the 650 does give you that opportunity to be able to do both highway speeds and give you the luxury of doing the city exploration. I mean, I know when he got back on his 300, he absolutely loved the fact that he can just swing it about. I mean, it's not the same that you can do on the 300. The 300, I mean, you can squish it on... you can swish it better on the 300 than you can on the 650. And I think that has more to do with maybe confidence, but I'm not exactly 100% sure. Or maybe it's the weight ratio, because as you can see on the specs, the weight ratio is, where is it? It's 362 pounds dry and 385 pounds wet, which is so little if you think about it in the bigger picture of most bikes. I mean, I know the 650's range is higher than that. Yeah. I'm running out of things to say. I'm very sorry, guys. So, what else? Oh, I know before I said that I wanted a gear indicator on my 300, but honestly, the more that I've been riding her and everything like that, the less that I feel like I actually need it. I find that actually not having the gear... not having the gear indicator actually makes you listen to your bike better, and you're able to learn learn when you need to switch your gears without having to look down at a gear indicator, I guess. And what do I mean by dry and wet? Dry is when, from what I understand, I could be wrong, guys, and I'm very sorry if I'm wrong, but dry means that it has no gas in it, and wet means when it's fully filled up. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. If I'm right, well then, there you go. I kind of answered your question. Yeah, okay, so we have a bunch of people making some silly comments here, which is fun because you guys can see them all. How many miles do I have on her? I know it's over 3,000, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how to convert that. What's the longest ride I've ever done? I don't know the actual distance, but I know the longest time was 4 hours. I know that this year it was not as much I got on her as I would have liked. Unfortunately, because of the eye surgery, and then when I banged up my face, it made it a little bit difficult for all that. What is the horsepower? The horsepower is... Where is the horsepower? I'm sorry. Okay, so her top speed is 171 to 190, but I don't think that's what you're asking for. Okay, I'm really sorry, guys. If you know which one the answer is on this page of specs, I would really like your help. Oh, horsepower. 39 horsepower. Never mind, I found it. It took me a while. Who's a cheater? No, I have not done wheelies yet. I'm not planning on doing wheelies. And I didn't cheat. I have a spec sheet. I had help putting up all this wonderful information. Thank you very much, Mr. K, for all your help. NASCAR Papa Smurf, did you do any wheelies yet on your bike? Right under top speed. Yeah, I found that. 39 horsepower. Yeah. So, I believe that I would pay to see her do a wheelie. Yeah. No, you wouldn't pay me to do a wheelie because I mean, I know people have done wheelies on 300s. I've seen it on YouTube, but it looks like a struggle, honestly. But with all that said, thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate all the comments that you guys have made while I was on the live stream, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the comments after this live stream has aired. No, I like mine too much to tear her up, says NASCAR Papa Smurf. And some in Tesla decided to give $2.79 to see me do a wheelie. I'm sorry, but $2.79 is not worth my bike price to go do a wheelie on it. So, thank you very much for watching this, and I appreciate to see all the comments afterwards, and don't forget to love, ride, and explore, and please be safe out there. Thank you. Bye.